Welcome to Your Health Matters, where we address issues that concern achieving and optimizing our health. My name is Judy Feldhausen, and I'm a holistic health practitioner. I've been involved in cardiovascular wellness since 2012, and I've recently expanded my practice to include gut health and discovering root causes of disease. Cardio Wellness Group uses ancient technologies and modern science to help you optimize your health. And we focus on increasing your energy, mental clarity, and well being using our tri level approach of meals, mind, and movement. When it comes to our business, we like to create programs and new ideas to help all of our clients in all walks of life. And that's where Grieg de Houssaye comes in, and he is a energy healer, which is absolutely amazing. He's a mediator, he's a practitioner, and he's been teaching hands-on energy medicine classes at the University of Nevada at Las Vegas for a long time. He's got a master's in philosophy from George Washington University, and he's got a couple books, Turn on Your Energy, and a follow-up book called The Energy to Thrive. And that's where I met Grieg. Was after reading that book, I'm like, I've just got to talk to him. These ideas and concepts that he have are so simple for people to use, but make such a difference. He really works with his clients' electrical signals and impulses through the uses of light and non-touch and even light touch therapies, which open up blocked meridians. And I so appreciate having Grieg here as a guest today. And we want to welcome him and really learn about his concepts, his ideas, his beliefs. You're just going to love him. So take it away, Grieg.
My name's Grieg de Houssaye. I'm what you call an energy medicine practitioner. I do a number of different treatment modalities, but primarily Jin Shin Jitsu. I got into this a very long time ago by having a digestive problem. And this digestive problem was miraculously enough cured, or whatever you want to, alleviated, or whatever you want to call it, by holding my thumb. A therapist suggested this, and I held my thumb on and off for the next 2 days, and presto, I was a new person. And that kind of got my attention, to say the least. And where things started for me to be very curious about what was going on. I took a lot of classes, I took a lot of different treatment modalities, and explored what was going on with the electrical energy in the body. Because if you start to really dig deep into it, we are primarily electrical beings. And that's not easy for somebody to wrap their head around, because we see as electricity as something as dangerous.
Yes.
Something that's powers our house. And we look at all the commercials on TV. We're primarily a chemical being. How come we're electrical? No, we are primarily first and foremost electrical. There are 17,000 touch sensors approximately in each hand. And those touch sensors give off electrical signals to the body. And when you're holding a thumb, which is what I was doing initially for my digestive problem, because my stomach and spleen meridians go through my thumb. So when I was holding my thumb, I was activating, accentuating, whatever you want to call it, some dynamic energy reconfiguration in my body to allow my digestive system to operate on a much higher level, or with easier flow and not being disruptive. It was in more harmony.
Grieg, can you show exactly how you held your thumb for our?
I simply held it just with a good hold on with my opposite hand. You can do right or left, but
so the whole thumb?
The whole thumb. It's just getting a good connection. It's not necessarily squeezing, but it's something that that people can do. I do it every day almost, holding my thumb and all my other fingers. After doing this for a while, you get very sensitive to, well, boy, that thumb is really working today. I'm feeling a lot of pulsation. And the pulsation isn't necessarily your heart rate or your heart rhythm. It's a flow of energy that's related to my stomach and spleen meridians. So when I hold it, I'm going to just get in touch with it. And part of this is being quiet with oneself so you can very clearly listen. And
Oh, I
I'll,
love what you say about listening. That is
yeah,
amazing.
and listening to this pulsation, and it will subside. Sometimes it will subside in 10, 15 seconds. Sometimes it'll take a minute or two. And after you do it often, it's going to be different. And going to the next finger. Oh, maybe I'm not doing anything with that today. Or the third finger, which is my anger finger. Can you imagine that? Look at that, my anger finger. So holding on to my anger finger, maybe I was angry about something today, and I need to release some of that energy. This is something that people need to just play with and experiment. It's not something hard, concrete. There's no direct cause and effect. We're not linear beings. We're multifaceted beings doing a lot of different things, but there's a lot of energy flowing in and through us all the time. And sometimes it can get blocked or out of harmony or whatever. We know that. We walk through things every day that can either be flowing or disruptive. And that has an impact on our electrical being, who we are down deep, who we are. So those are the kinds of things I'd like to talk about. One of the bridges I want to give people to understand how this is not just hocus pocus is that the prosthetics, those manipulative arms that are made out of plastic and electrical sensors, can be attached to an amputee's nub. So if somebody has an amputated arm, they can put this prosthetic and connect it to that nub of their arm and have a dexterity in their hands and fingers that's comparable to a regular human being. Now, how can that happen? It's strictly from the electrical signals coming out of that nub of an arm to literally be translated into all these dynamics about how a prosthetic works and create this unbelievable result. It's from the electrical circuits that flow in and through our body. So when you know that you got 17,000 touch sensors, electrical circuits call them, in your hand, it's just something it's an extension of what this prosthetic's doing with that nub of the arm. And that's just one way to explain it. They're also finding that when you get a cut, you think that, okay, I got to keep that cut clean, I got to close it up and do this, but they're finding that maybe the most important thing about that cut healing is the electrical fields of energy that surround that cut and create a dynamic where the cells know where and how to go to handle that cut. So all of these different electrical activities are now becoming sensors. I mean, they literally can put a sensor in you, a little very small button type sensor where you can go in and out of a building, okay? And you don't have to punch a card or show your ID. This is real world, and this is all about sending off electrical sensing activity in and through the body. So it's very interesting, and we're finally getting to the point where, realizing that when you go to the doctor, he's got so many different tools to read your electrical activity. Call them EEG, EKG. What about the cardio pacemakers? I mean, friends of mine have these pacemakers. 20 years ago they had put them in, and they're still working, and they're balancing the flow of electrical energy in and through the heart. And that's clearly what they do. So it's just this amazing thing that goes on electrically in our body that we don't get focused on. And it's one of those things that is amazing. I challenge people. I live in a HOA 55 plus community, and I'll see people that are limping, or they don't want to play pickleball anymore. So I get them and I could cajole them kind of and say, okay, look, I think I know something that can help you. And I'll go and press on a point that Hannah Kroger, HANNA KROEGER, phenomenal woman in the 20th century. And she's got this point on your right elbow that you can push. And I'll go up to these people and say, oh, can I touch you? And I'll go and push this point, and more times than less, that would be really fired up and hot and tender. And they come back to me a week later after pushing on that point for 3 minutes, 3 times a day, at a not too hard, not too light, but being consistent and pushing on it, and kiss me and hug me because it works.
Wow.
I mean, I used to play basketball and my left Achilles tendon would get so tender, I couldn't touch it. But I would work on this point, and on the other side of my body, on my right elbow, not my left, and I'd be back playing basketball in 2 or 3 days, that kind of thing. So, it's these experiences that get you fired up to really know that, okay, I can take my control of my own energy and medicine by doing these kinds of things. So it's something that's it evolves. And just by exploring these things, a lot of these things are explained in my book, Turn On Your Energy and the Energy to Thrive. I've got a lot of references in there for people to go to say, okay, here we go. You can go and look up this website, and it's got all these different pressure points or these touching points to touch, literally. So you got pressure points, and then you have touch points. I mean, these touch points, you're not pushing real hard. You're just making electrical contact with skin to skin. You don't even need skin to skin. We do energy medicine over clothing, okay? You don't have to. It's that powerful. But just by touching somebody is hard for people to understand that just touch on a point or 2 points on a body can make a difference. Now they can relate to pushing in on a point, because that's the way we're almost trained to think. We got to put some effort into something. But just holding something, I do it every night. I come back from playing some sport, and I'll just sit down on my couch watching TV, and I'll put my hands underneath my hip bones, and those I'm just hanging out, sitting on my hands, and I can feel so much vibration and so much pulsation. But after a minute or 2 or 3, boom, it's quiet, and I literally, sometimes I wound up tearing, okay? Or I make a big yawn, which clearly shows me that I'm getting some reaction. I'm getting relaxation. I'm getting some real different kind of flow in my electrical energy through my body just by sitting on my hands. And it's just one of those things. There's all kinds of ways to touch different parts of your body to help you go to sleep. There's a woman named Melanie Smith, and she has this point, and I've been doing this for almost 30 years. I found this point about 6 months ago. And she puts your 2 fingers, you put your 2 middle fingers in your belly button, and you hold your ring finger and not ring, index finger and your thumb together. And you put them and lay them on your belly button, okay? Middle fingers in the belly button. And that can actually changes the way the vagus nerve is flowing in and through your body. And if you look up what the vagus nerve is, it's the biggest nerve in your body. But it's a powerful, powerful dimension to be able to tap into. And just by doing this, it sounds ridiculous, but just by doing that, I found that, wow, it's like I can go in to this deep state of relaxation within 2 or 3, sometimes a minute, you know? And again, after I do it a number of times, it's just one of these things. I was on acupressure.com just 2 weeks ago, and he shows how you can put your hands together and I'm going to put my index fingers and touch them to my third eye. And all of a sudden, I'm finding that my head is tilting. Okay. And then I'm getting into a rhythm. Boom. And I'm coming down forward. I'm not doing this consciously. This is just something that happens when I touch these points and like this, and my body goes into this gyration. And I'm going, what the heck is this? And this is just something that came from acupressure.com. But again, it's a different kind of exploration that some people will get a reaction right away and some won't. And so it's one of those things that, again, experimenting and exploring. There's a lot of different websites. Flows for Life is all about different touch points for Jinshin Jitsu. There's all kinds of different ways to engage the electrical energy in the body. I've been taught to treat if somebody has a problem with a joint. I can go to that joint, say for instance, right here, this joint between these two parts of my finger. I can go to that joint and I can feel, I've been trained to feel, I don't know how they train me to do this, but anyway, I can feel it move in and away from that joint. So these two bones, any two bones that have a joint, they have a movement towards the joint and away. And if there's a disharmony there, you can literally stay with it and light touch. This is very, very light touch. Stay with it and it will balance out and start to move like it should move. You know, those kind of things are throughout the body. Cranial sacral therapy does some similar kind of things where literally with the weight, with pressure less than the weight of a nickel, you can literally manipulate cranial bones. So there's a rhythm that you can pulsate, feel, and if it's out of whack, you can do just hanging with it a certain way, it will go back into rhythm. I mean, they're finding all these different kinds of things and making treatment modalities out of them. Visceral manipulation is another one of these things. Every organ and every sphincter and gland has a rhythmic motion that you can palpate, and you don't even need to touch the body. You can, again, I'm not sure if it's just because I've been meditating for 50 years that I can go into this deep relaxation, but I know that people get trained to do these things all over the world. So it's one of these things that you can palpate these kind of energies coming out of a gland or a organ or a sphincter, and literally manipulate them very easily to come back into rhythm. And so those are the kind of miraculous things I've been able to deal with myself and with clients and with students. And it's been fun. You know, it's supposed to be fun, right?
That's right. It's so interesting because as a holistic practitioner, I'm concerned about circulation of all the different, things we have in our body, and I teach how to enhance the circulation of the lymph glands through touch. And until I read your book, I hadn't realized that it was the electrical energy that is actually manipulating those lymph glands to make
Yep.
such a difference for my clients.
Yep.
I just have to say that of all the books I've read on electrical energy, I really believe that yours was the most understandable and comprehensive at the same time.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and it's something that people need to realize, because we're just talking about touch. But this all translates into diet, exercise, thoughts, feelings, emotions, or we don't understand how powerful they are because we don't see that they're electrically connected to everything that happens to us. So when you get mad or when you get happy, when you put a smile on your face, what is happening when you put a smile on your face? You're appreciating something, you're relaxed, and you're in a state of non-resistance to the world around you. Now, what better way to live a moment in your life than to have a smile on your face?
Exactly.
But we don't normally, we haven't been taught, or the doctor doesn't say, well, look, you better start smiling more. But it's
Yeah.
such a dimension that, we kind of miss out. But it's a very powerful thing to put a smile on your face. It does a
Well,
lot of different things.
and I think one of the things that you try to share with people is to have an awareness of the world around you, of your movement and your exercise, your diet, your feelings.
Yep.
Just to start with that awareness, so when you do something as simple as putting your hand around your thumb, you can be aware of what's the feeling in your body and what's going
Yep.
on.
Yep. Fun. Yep. So it's good. It's good stuff.
That's great, great. Can you share your contact information? Because I'm sure that a lot of people will want to get in touch with you and just learn more.
Well, I assume you have this correct spelling of my name, and I don't have a website, but I do have my two books and I do have YouTube videos. So that's one way. And the energy to thrive at gmail.com is my main email address. So that's another way. And
Awesome.
I'm open to talking to anybody, giving perspectives on whatever, and anytime, anywhere. So it's one of those things that I
Well,
can do for people.
I so appreciate your sharing this information, not only with me, but with all the people that are going to see it on YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook,
Good.
everywhere else, that that they will have an opportunity to start that awareness and that simple thing like you did with
Yep.
just starting with the thumb, or maybe doing a lymph gland, or sitting on your hands. I mean, I see that a lot of times. Little kids sit on their hands a lot,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And
and
so
it can be just if you have a certain symptom, go to the internet and put in acupressure or jitsu for this, whatever it is. Or Donna Eden is another person that's big on helping people. These connections are in the book. The energy Turn on Your Energy is the first book. It's a lead-in book to The Energy to Thrive. And we're trying to get people to understand that everything is connected. The physics people will tell you, there is things like entanglement. There is that we know that the things like taking a placebo, well, how in the heck does that work?
right,
It's expectations. It's an awareness of your expectations. Are you expecting things to happen to you? You know, do you say every day, I expect and I know that amazingly awesome things are going to happen to me today in different ways and from different angles? And it's a matter of just almost saying those kind of things repeatedly to yourself to get you into being aware, oh, that is pretty miraculous. I can't believe that happened. And know that, you can manifest your own life. And as you're not in control with other people, because people know that when they walk into a business meeting or an audience or whatever, it feels real good, or wow, this doesn't feel real positive. Should I be hanging around with these people or not? It's getting to that awareness of just sensing, at a subtle letter, these
mhm,
energy flows. It's something happens and it's either going to promote your energy to flow more fluidly and more dynamically, or it may kind of hinder things. It may start to
Yeah.
block things because, this guy over here, he's pretty upset about this. And do I really want to jump into that world or not? So,
Exactly. I always say that the weather that you bring into the room,
yeah,
people are going to pick up on those clouds or that lightning or the rain or the sun. We
yep,
have that ability to bring our own weather into the room and to
yep,
share that because people can feel it.
yep, they can. And I just got a couple of weeks ago, I got another bonus awareness. I read this statement: too blessed to be stressed. Now,
Ooh,
take that in. I mean, think about it. We're not living in Gaza. We're not living in Ukraine. We're pretty well blessed right at the moment in time in history,
yeah.
and we are blessed. And how can you be stressed when you really, really are grateful for how blessed you are?
Mm. And
Yeah.
we're so blessed to have you today, Greg. It's
Well,
such a
thank you.
joy. And is there any last things that you'd like to share before we say goodbye?
Uh, be here now, okay? Baba Ramdas, you know who he was?
No.
Okay, but he wrote a book called Be Here Now. And bottom line, it comes down to that, I think, in so many ways.
Mm.
Keeping focused attention on what's happening right in the moment.
Yes, because we want to live in the present because it's a gift.
Yep. Well, thank you, Judy.
Thank you, Greg, and it's wonderful talking to you. We so appreciate you being here with us today on Your Health Matters. And we hope that you learned something special from Greg. And if you have any other questions, just connect with me, Judy Feldhausen. My website is thecardiowellnessgroup.com. Connect with me directly on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on YouTube. With the YouTube, it is the Cardio Wellness Group site. We hope that you enjoyed yourself, and we'd love to answer any questions you have. Have a great day, because remember, today is the best day to take care of your health. Bye bye.